Okay. So I wanted to make a video on Tyler Adams, who I think is a really maybe misunderstood is the best word player. I think he's a very talented defensive midfielder, and he probably gets more grief than he deserves. Um, so we'll go through some clips and we'll look at some data and talk about what kind of player he is and what he could bring to Chelsea amidst the news that Chelsea might go after him instead of Caicedo. Um, I said this at the beginning of the Disasi video, and I think there's probably the same conversations about is it worthwhile to go get him over playing someone you already own. In this case, the comparison would be someone like Ethan Ampadu, who has gone to Leeds. I think that conversation is more pertinent here because I think Ampadu is a similar level prospect. But the reality is Ampadu is gone already. So we can't really do much about that. So Adams, a couple details. So Adams came through as like a 16-year-old with Red Bulls in MLS. If you remember when Chelsea played the Red Bulls in preseason, that ended up resulting in the purchase of Matt Miazga. Tyler Adams also played in that game. I believe he scored. He was like a very, very productive MLS player at 16 years old, like man marking the other team's best player type stuff. The minutes total is a little bit lower than some of the other players we've looked at. A lot of that is injuries, which we'll take a look at. Right? So you can see through his whole career, lots of muscle injuries. Adductor, MCL, whatever. But lots of muscle injuries. This is pretty alarming to me and is maybe the biggest red flag I have. When we talk about the realities of the transfers, it's a £20 million release clause, but apparently there's a loan clause as well that if Chelsea just pay his full wages, they have to accept. I would be much more interested in doing that because A, it gives you the options for a more long-term solution in the summer that you actually want, but you still have that ball-winning midfielder cover now. And also if he gets injured, it's just wages. So statistically, I think there's some interesting things to note. So in the red, you have his Bundesliga profile. In the blue, you have his Premier League profile. So there's two things to note. The first is that the ball winning has gone up massively. A lot of this is due to roles, but also team strength. If we think Leipzig were one of the best teams in the league, Adams played as a DM for a team that had a lot of the ball, so possession is higher, progressive passes are higher. All the in-possession stuff is more noteworthy. The ball winning is down. And this isn't just because they have the ball a lot, because it's possession adjusted. It's also because of the style of play. Leipzig are a lot better as a pressing team, so they're winning it before the defensive midfielder more often. He also played some right back, so you have to keep that in mind as well. At Leeds, I think there's a couple things to note. One, he's a way better passer than people think. And that's even if we put progressive passes aside. He's quite good at securing when he wins the ball. So we can kind of talk about that. The ball winning is extremely legit. The 1v1 defending is extremely legit. He's very good at like winning loose balls with his head, where he'll just like stick his head in and poke it. The fouls is whatever. The turnovers is a Leeds Jesse Marsh Red Bull ball thing. And there really is no scoring contribution stuff, which is not really a big deal. So before we go into the video, we'll look at what his FBref looks like. So again, the creative stuff, there's nothing there. Passing, again, he's not really a long passer. He's very much a win the ball, pass to somebody next to me. So pass it to somebody next to me, pass it forward if I can. That's really what he is. This is the whole point of getting him for Chelsea. He wins the ball, he passes it to Enzo. Wins the ball, passes it to Enzo. Wins it. He's a very good presser. He's a very good transition defender and like stopping people when they're dribbling in the open field, which is the absolute hardest part about transition defending. He's excellent at it. These ball winning numbers are crazy, and they're not really artificially inflated by like Red Bull ball. Like this is real, because it's the same for the US. It's the same even after Jesse Marsh left. So those are kind of the interesting ones, and again, the aerial stuff for such a small guy is funny. Picks his battle as well. So we'll watch some clips. So first clip, Kova dribbles. Look how good a job he does at screening the two players inside, right? Like this is a very difficult pass with the outside of your right foot. Felix is taken away. Ball goes into the channel. Perfect space to take up the block in between. Boom, cuts it out, no problems. Here's another one. They break the line. They get out to the fullback. He's very, very good going into wide areas to defend, particularly going out to block crosses and stuff like that. That's an excellent one. Here you have another great screen, right? Felix dribbles inside. Does a good job not to overcommit. Blocks the long ball. This is one of my favorite clips in the whole thing. So United win the ball on the edge of their area with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Leeds players high. This should be a pretty, not a dangerous transition, but it should be a transition for United. And watch the footwork to just kill the transition. Good jockey, boom, keeps it forward, keeps in front. Good block, keeps it in front. And now United are going back into a pressing situation instead of getting a transition. Here's another one, closes the channel well. Into the channel to block another cross. Into the cutback space. This clip is amazing, and I wish I could show the whole clip for copyright stuff, but watch how many times he scans just to see where the cutback runs are. One, wins. And you can see before that, there's like 3 more. He's in a great spot. He doesn't get too close to center backs. Here's another one. Great little counter press on Caicedo. Great scan. Jumps. Doubles down. Like, this is all really, really high-level ball winner stuff. Great screen. Good transition pass. Another one. Doubles from the inside really well. Right? Like, this is one where we talk about... Seb C has posted a lot of videos about this with... Chalobah and with other Chelsea players in relation to how you double team in wide areas, and like this is perfect defensive midfield double play. Here's another one, right? Ruben comes from the outside, perfect defensive midfield double play. Here's another one. He goes, smashes somebody on the sideline. Again, he's so good going into wide areas to defend. He uses the sideline so well. This is another amazing clip where we talk about the transition defending stuff. This is a 2v1 from half. This is really hard. How many times have we seen with Conte in this scenario off corners that they get really, really wrong? He takes a really good angle, so it's very hard for Bruno to play around him to go. He's either going to have to turn this into a 1v1 or he's going to have to try and play a really difficult pass around him on the inside. Keeps a good angle. The whole time he keeps a good angle. I think he's probably quite right to say, hey, goalkeeper, get off your line and come help me here. He doesn't. And then watch the footwork to defend. Doesn't overcommit. Keeps him in front. Great block. So the defensive stuff is all really, really good. The big question for Chelsea is, what does the in-possession stuff look like? Is he good enough at keeping the ball? Is he good enough at passing forward? Is he good enough at passing to the midfielders around him and securing possession that all the ball winning is worth it? So he's quite good at playing in like little tight spaces. The biggest thing that I see is there's just like a lot of sloppiness. Like, this is a giveaway that there's no reason should happen. This is a fine pass into the next line, right? But again, there's not much that the winger's ever going to be able to do with this. Here's another great one. Looks in behind. Like, there's something there. There's just a little bit of sloppiness. Another one, right? Like, this is a fine decision to break the line here. But, like, what is that? What's he going to do with that? And then you have this, though. You have him on the edge of the box doing, like, little slip reverse passes that are, like, that's quite deft. Here's another one. This one, like, he turns the wrong way, but then plays an absolute awesome slip pass with his left foot. So, like, the passing stuff, there's something there. There's a lot of these nice little, like, line breakers forward, but there's also a lot of those clips of him, like, pissing it away. So the jury's out for me. I think it's a tough one. Like, I think he's good enough. But the reason that I'm ultimately maybe a green flag on this is really these sorts of clips. So the things that Adams really excels at is securing two passes after a win. Loose ball on the edge of the box. Yes, boom, Hoover, secure the ball. Here's another one. Dribble inside. Smash the guy. Loose ball, Hoover. So I think ultimately it's a difficult transfer. I think it's the right age profile. It's the right skill set to identify for what this defensive midfielder has to be. There has to be a lot of ball winning, and there has to be a little bit of passing. I would probably do a loan if that's available to us before I would do a permanent transfer. But at £20 million, 24-year-old, it's not the worst thing in the world. So we'll see how it goes. I'm excited to see how the rest of the year goes, and we'll go from there.